Very active pattern, that's for sure. Thanks to our virtual view technology, I'm standing in Olive Park, Chicago, where we do have an excessive heat warning in effect, and that heat will fuel the rain, the thunderstorms eventually. It's a warm, muggy start to the day, that is for sure. And we could see a possible storm this morning, but it looks like later this evening, that's when we have the better chance for the really heavy downpours, lightning flashing in the sky, and we could see some damaging winds, large hail to go along with this heavy rain as well. Well, the White Sox are going to try to play ball against the Texas Rangers this evening, but we'll see if the tarps come out. Could be some delays with that game that we'll be watching very closely. 79 degrees right now. We're already close to the average high for Chicago this time of the year, low 80s. So with the dew point of 70, that makes it feel even more uncomfortable. But for your morning commute, at least the skies are nice and clear and it's dry out there on the roadways, because that will not be the case as we head towards later on this evening. So as you can see, 6, 7 o'clock, they're all to the north of Chicago, up towards Milwaukee. Also moving on down towards Chicago as we head toward the midnight hours. So it's going to be more of an overnight threat for Chicago. Points east into Indiana, Gary, Indiana as well. You see Wednesday, we get a little more action out there during the morning time frame back toward the Quad Cities. Here's a look at Detroit. Of course, the Tigers are going to try to play ball later today as well. You got storms already rumbling across the middle of Michigan around Saginaw, where temperatures are in the mid 70s. We're going to follow those storms this morning and then eventually kind of roll on down towards the Motor City as we head towards much later tonight, even 3 o'clock in the morning. Here's your alarm clock. Thunder, possibly hail embedded within that heavy rain, moving right across Lake Huron as well as Lake Erie, and more storms come back at us as we head towards Wednesday night as well. All right, let's take it back toward the Quad Cities, because we also see showers and storms in your future. I know it's been very hot and very humid here in the Corn Belt, and we are going to see those storms eventually develop for us much later tonight. Lightning, thunder, possibly some hail embedded within some of these cells as we move it forward into Wednesday morning. You can see more isolated fashion of thunderstorms and then kind of congealing a little bit, becoming more active as we head towards your commute Wednesday morning. And now we head over towards, let's see, Milwaukee. You've got Madison, a muggy but cloudy start to the day. Our showers and storms eventually come through as we head towards later on this evening, right there around Green Bay. Yeah, some of these storms could also pack a punch and cause you to lose your power, so be prepared for the outages. Steph?
All right, that is because that mess that we're talking about in the Great Lakes today is basically going to arc over into the mid-Atlantic and parts of the Northeast as well. We've got a jet stream energy. We've got low-level wind energy, or I should say, mid to low-level wind energy. It's not exceptionally high, but it's there enough to give us that threat for severe weather. On top of that, we've got a boundary that gives us lift. We've got the piece of energy that gives us lift. The winds energize the system. You've got the heat. You've got the moisture. So there's a lot of lift in the atmosphere, and there are your winds aloft. And by the way, they're going in the same direction as those winds down at some of those lower levels. So watch for those thunderstorms to grow due to that. Tomorrow morning, they'll be ongoing for us here. And you can see everything kind of arching over that ridge. Indiana, we are going to see weather come in the afternoon. Cleveland, Detroit, this is going to hit you around bedtime, and then it continues as we head into the overnight hours here, especially into central Pennsylvania. That's where we could get some of those stronger thunderstorms. There's the possibility of flooding. Now, we're not expecting to see widespread flooding, but if you get one of those heavier downpours, then you could get some localized flooding. Speaking of localized, let's take you into Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, by the way, some of the public schools tomorrow, because it is going to be so hot, are going to be doing a half day of school. So keep that in mind. Make sure that if your kids are getting out early there. We will see all of that heat bubble up those storms as we head a little bit later in the day. Youngstown, Ohio, crossing over into Butland. Punxsutawney, Phil's going to be definitely burrowed in there. And how about as we look into New York City, where, by the way, as we head into tomorrow, we're going to be into the 90s, the mid-90s in New York City, and we should be in the low 80s this time of year. And so it's going to be a hot one here. Jordan, it stays pretty clear for us here in the New York City area when it comes to those storms.
Oh, well, 1 degree yesterday, 96 degrees. The record to beat was 97. So as you can see, Chicago is hotter than some Florida cities, including Tampa. Of course, the clouds, the showers taking the edge off the heat a little bit, although we still have the humidity, and we will have that chance for thunderstorms pretty much every day this week. Daytime highs, low 90s, and overnight lows only dropping to the 70s. So it's a very muggy atmosphere. Not that we need need the rain here in Tampa. By the way, our surplus has jumped to over 12 inches for the year. And you can see, especially this month, we have seen a lot of rain courtesy of what was Hurricane Debbie. Remember, dropping anywhere from a foot to 2 feet of rain in Florida, Georgia, and the Carolinas. We're going to continue to monitor showers and storms kind of growing across the Gulf of Mexico, moving in on those trade winds across Florida, and then also affecting us back towards Texas as this area of low pressure kind of retrogrades in that direction. You've got a frontal boundary draped across the Gulf Coast as well, and that's also going to be our focal point for more showers and storms in places like New Orleans and Lake Charles, Louisiana. Plenty of tropical humidity. That's showing up here in that bright orange, pointed right at you guys in Houston, Galveston, much of Louisiana as we head toward the middle and latter part of the week. And that's where we're seeing some of those heavier rainfall amounts. Overall, Florida about 1 to 2. But as you can see in the western Gulf of Mexico, I mean, there are some areas near Houston where we could pick up anywhere from 3 to 5 inches. Here's a look at the way it plays out Thursday into Friday, big travel day. Of course, for Labor Day weekend, you've got the I-10 corridor lit with storms between Houston and New Orleans. Florida, every once in a while getting in on some of those showers, especially during the afternoon. But New Orleans, watch for the heavier thunderstorms Wednesday into Thursday. And as you know, Jordan, it floods pretty easily in New Orleans.
So meteorologist Kelly Cass and Jordan Steele. Jordan, we could see more scenes like this as storms fire up today. And as I mentioned, they already blasted through Minnesota again this morning.
Yes, they did.
I know. We should have a Weather Channel tug of war.
Cool team versus warm team.
Yeah. We should do it. I like it. All right. Let's talk about where the heat is winning and is not going to lose anytime soon, and that's in the center of the country. Chicago could feel as hot as 115, so Chicagoans can call 311 for a wellness check on anyone that they want to do. In Philadelphia, 63 schools will dismiss early today and tomorrow. 37 Pittsburgh public school facilities will operate a half day due to the high temperatures on Wednesday. Not today in Pittsburgh, that would be tomorrow. In Chicago, they're also going to either cancel or move some of those outdoor activities indoors.